corner. This like
watching at helping your, you know,
yesterday our church part Zoom help our okay. Not such to me. Two of both of them here there was ask her mom if you
get on. You said, you know, share the feed, let us know where you're watching from. And
we keep advancing our technology, so we're streaming to multiple places all at once.
Yeah,
just keep getting better.
Yeah. So what did you guys do this past weekend? It was a pretty nice weekend.
Yeah.
I kind of remember. I'm trying to. And Saturday we had some fun. We took a little family outing on Saturday, and we all went to Clinton.
Yeah, it was a little drizzly, or cloudy in the morning, but then the clouds kind of cleared up. And I had gone to Clinton earlier in the week for a specific place I had to stop at. And so while I was there, I realized how cute their downtown area is. And, you know, they have that Utica coffee shop right there on the corner. And so to the Clinton cider mill first time.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I loved it. It was great. I went, I'll be honest, went for the donuts.
It's always about the apple cider donuts.
Love that. But you know what I did get that I don't know if I've got before is the hot apple cider.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing.
It was?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, she loves they both got apple cider, like cups of apple cider, then we got a jug, but she didn't like the hot stuff. She didn't like my hot apple cider. She just liked her her cold apple cider. And so, yeah, we had to wait in line. Took a little bit.
Yeah.
Felt like I was at an amusement park, but
yeah, if you've been there, let us know what your favorite thing to buy is, because there's really, if you aren't familiar with it, there's really nothing to do there. It's not, you know, where you're picking apples or you're doing a corn maze or anything like that. Yeah. It's really just a store, which I didn't know. I thought
me neither.
It was going to be like kids' activities. They did have an actual cider press, which was cool for the kids to watch while we were in line, but we bought quite a bit. We were hungry.
More than I bargained for.
Yeah, that's the problem when you go and you're hungry. But we bought like stuff to take home for dinner that night. We bought hot soup that we ate for lunch when we got home. We got treats. So let us know what your favorite thing is there. Or if you have a favorite fall destination right now, I'd love to hear what that is too. So
yeah, and I don't know if you remember last week on the morning show, or Mornings with Mike and Susie, I said that this past weekend was probably our last weekend in the 80s. And some of you commented.
That's true. You did say that.
Some of you commented and disagreed with me.
Well, I kind of led the disagreement.
Well, yeah, that's normal.
If you remember, I was leading the troops to say, no, we still have warm days ahead of us.
I think it was just more of hopes because we are, again, I looked at the forecast this morning and I think I'm right. I don't think I think the highest we hit in the next 14 days is like 70 to 72. So
it is beautiful though, right?
But it is, yes, it's gorgeous. You can wear sweaters, but I don't know about you, but I'm having the problem where all of my coats are jackets, or light jackets are being left here at the church because I come in the morning and it's anywhere from, I came the other day, it was 37 degrees, all the way up to, 45, somewhere in there. So I'll wear a jacket on the way in, but by the time I leave, it's like, 60, and then I just leave my jacket here. So all my jackets are now hung up in my office.
Yes, but you do that with not just your jackets.
True.
You have like probably half your closet ends up in your office.
Yeah.
Because you change, right? You're always changing for something, like whatever your day is.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for things and they're never home.
No.
And then maybe you'll every once in a while just bring it all home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tina's with us. Wanted to say hi to her. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Tina, do you have a favorite fall destination? I know that you and Rick like to do fun things, go camping. So I'd love to hear what your favorite fall destination is. Especially in central New York, right?
Yeah. It's been, it's been good. I'm enjoying the weather, and like I said, it's a blast. So this past week, we here at Mohawk Valley Church, we were in the 80s, and we had
not temperature.
No.
We're not talking about the weather anymore.
That's true. We moved on from the weather, and we're in a series called At the Movies Through the Decades. Every weekend, we're submersing ourselves into a different decade. We started in the 50s, and this past weekend, we were in the 1980s, and it is my favorite decade. We had, excuse me, an absolute blast. We gave out nachos and cheese this past weekend. And we have a couple of pictures from the weekend. We have a concession stand. And so every week we are giving out a different kind of, movie concession stand, food. And we have a great team that is helping us. People are dressing up for those weekends. You can see that picture there. Kind of going.
How cute they are.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And everybody has a different take. So there's kind of like the Madonna's look. And then there's, somebody has her Journey t-shirt. And then the neon, what's that? What is that called? Like the net gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Fishnet gloves. Yeah. So cute. We're having a lot of fun. So 80s was your favorite?
Yes.
Because of the music,
the music, the movies.
Okay.
Often Susie will come in to the den, and I'll be watching some kind of, she'll look at me like, what movie are you watching? And it's from the 80s. And
always old.
Yeah, it's old. But they're great movies.
Yeah. My criteria when we pick a movie together is when was it made? And if it was made more than probably 15 years even, maybe even mid-90s, okay, I'm usually nope. Or if it's a newer movie, I wonder if anybody else does this. If it has less than 4 stars, won't watch it. Not doing it.
You're a movie snob.
If the general public doesn't give it at least 4 stars, and I've never heard that it's a good movie, not happening. Because I pick horrible movies, first of all.
Yes. I'm
kind of known for being the one between the two of us. If I'm going to pick a movie that it's going to have a weird ending, or it's the kind of movie that it ends and then you're like, that's it? Or it's an hour and a half movie, but it feels like it lasts for 4 hours because it's just not that entertaining. So now I just look at the ratings, but not all. I feel like Netflix doesn't do ratings. But Amazon Prime does.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
So our movie for the 1980s, it was my all-time favorite movie Back to the Future. And it is just, I said this over the weekend, I watch this movie probably at least once a year. And at least the first one. And I kind of, alternate. Sometimes I'll go and watch the third one or the second one. I don't know if I watch the whole series, but at least that first one I'll watch at least once a year. And it's an iconic, classic movie.
And you let our 5th grader watch them with you, I think, this year, right? Did she watch all of them?
The first 2. So we haven't watched the third one yet. And so sometime in the next couple months we'll probably watch that third one. But what we did is we have a great theater teacher who runs our Mohawk Valley Church theater team, and he wrote a skit just for this message to kind of intro the message. And we have a little clip that we're going to show from this past weekend. Go ahead and let's take a look. Well, I want to welcome you to Mohawk Valley Church.
Church? Great Scott, this is a church?
Yeah.
Where are all the statues?
Oh, not that kind of church.
Doesn't smell like a church.
Not that kind of church either. It's a Pentecostal church.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. You have anything? No, sorry. I'm sorry, we seem to have left our wallets back in 1985.
I don't need your money.
Oh, praise Jesus.
Oh, you know the Lord.
Why? Is there no more God in 2020?
No. That was so much fun.
Yeah, you guys did such a good job with it, and I love that Jack wrote that specifically for us. That was so awesome. He's so gifted and talented, and Jonathan, you, everybody just did such a good job.
Yeah, it was great. And, if theater interests you, we have a theater team that meets every Wednesday at 6:30 here at the church. Jack runs it, who, for those of you who are wondering, he was Doc in that short video clip, and he has lots of theater experience, and a great actor, and so he is running our theater team, and we're going to be doing more of these, kind of as we go, more and more, because I love skits and dramas. I feel like they can add a lot to the service, and sometimes maybe just break it up and, have a laugh. So.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget that you can have fun while you're in church.
Right.
You can laugh, you can relax a little bit, and just enjoy yourself. And of course, we do have those more serious moments and those more introspective moments. And, but it's okay too to just have fun, and that's really what we've been doing throughout this entire series. So if you have caught any of those, what is your favorite so far? What is your favorite decade or your favorite week that we've done so far? So we started with the 50s, we're in the 80s, next week is the 90s, and we're doing a different concession for each week too. Right. So next week we have a really fun surprise concession plan to kind of end it off with a bang. That's up to you.
So before we do though, but what I talked about this past weekend is I talked about how we need to go back to the promises of God. And we need to go back to the promises that, that God has given us in his word, but also we need to go back to the promises that God has given us specifically. And I talked about, really the promised land and how we needed to actually go back all the way. Some people, you might just not have realized, and you kind of always think that God gave Moses, right, the promise to lead the Israelites into the promised land, but actually you need to go all the way back to Genesis. Abraham was the first man that God called into the land of Canaan, and so, but there's promises that God has given you specifically, has given me specifically, and God doesn't give up on those promises.
Right. Yeah, I love that, and just that thought of being obedient, even in the midst of sometimes when there's a delay or those things you're not seeing fulfilled right away, because we are such a microwave generation. We want to pop the promise of God in the microwave, hit the timer for 30 seconds and pull it out and it's done. But that usually isn't how it happens. And God is doing things inside of us as we're waiting and we're trusting and being obedient. So
yeah,
good word.
Back to the promises and our Bible verse for the day, and I'm getting this off of the YouVersion Bible app. So if you don't have it, you can download it on your phone. It's actually what I use to read my Bible every day. I listen to my Bible and then I follow along and read it. But we get this on their homepage every day. And this today's verse is found in John chapter 14, verse 27. It says this: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid." I love that there's a few things in this verse, but the first thing is that God doesn't. Jesus is saying, "I don't give the way
like the world gives."
Like the world gives, and I think that's a really important lesson, and it's hard for us because really our everything we learn from our experiences, right? And we kind of hey, this has been my experience with my mom, with my dad, with my siblings, with my friends, with my spouse, and we can kind of transfer that to God in a lot of ways, not even on purpose, but it's just hard. That's been our experience. But God is saying, Jesus is saying, "I don't give the way the world gives." And I think we need to stop and really realize that that God sees you and he does things so much differently than you or I would ever do. What do you think?
Yeah, I think about some of the ways the world gives, and I think about that when you're a kid, there are even phrases about people that give something and then take it back.
Right.
And so that's kind of one of the ways that the world gives with strings attached.
Yes.
And so we kind of expect that even from God. We kind of expect, well, if I'm going to ask God for something, then I'm going to promise him something in return. But God doesn't even give to us like that. He gives us freely. And he also gives in a way that we can trust the gift. And how many times do you get a gift? I think about Christmas gifts that we've gotten for our kids. Oh my gosh. One year we got Adeline this little mini drone, and she unwrapped it and started playing with it with her cousins before we even had a chance to look at it.
Right.
And it was broken within like an hour. And what a disappointing gift.
Right.
You get something and you're excited to have it and then it fails. But those things that God gives us, they don't fail.
Yeah. And then the other thing I like about this verse is how, Jesus, he said that, hey, peace I leave with you. But he doesn't just say, peace I leave with you, then moves on. He says, peace I leave with you. And he's trying to kind of differentiate what peace, because he's saying, my peace I give you. Because the way we view peace is so much differently than the way that Jesus viewed it. And Jesus saying, no, like, I'm going to give you peace, but not just peace in the way that you might understand it, but I'm going to give you my peace. I'm going to give you my peace. And I think that, that's an important word for someone that's watching today, that God wants to give you peace in the midst of your turmoil. Right now, in the midst of whatever you're going through, whatever situation you're walking through, whether you're a mom or a dad at home trying to figure out this, virtual learning, whether you're at work trying to juggle your kids at home and family and, all these so many things going on, that God wants to give you his peace, and he is faithful. And when we turn to him and we accept the things that he has for us, he gives us promises. These are one of those promises that we need to get back to, that he promises us his peace.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of peace and gifts, I can't help but think about Christmas. Have you thought about Christmas at all yet this year?
A little bit. A few people have, only because I've had a few people tag me in some Hallmark movie Facebook posts. I've had two different people over this past 3 days, tag me in Hallmark movie stuff and about all the new Hallmark movies coming out. I shared a few years ago with my church that I am a sucker for those Hallmark movies. I love them. I can sit down on a Saturday and watch, 2 or 3 of them.
You love them more than anybody else in our family does.
Yes. Yeah.
You make us record them all.
Uh-huh.
You're like, record all the Hallmark movies.
I just hit record this. Basically, let's just record this channel for the next 6 weeks until Christmas.
Yeah. And you'll actually sit and watch the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, actually sit and watch it. I might sit while I'm doing something else or wrapping a gift or... doing something on my laptop, but to just sit and watch the whole movie, I can't do it.
I love it.
I know you do.
I do. I love it.
You love the happy ending.
Yeah, so I've actually yes, ending. I love it. And it was funny because one of the posts about Hallmark movies was like a funny meme about, all these different actors, all these different shows. But it has I think it was like the same
15 actors, 2 settings. 1 producer. What do they all have in common? 634 Hallmark movies.
But it's like, they all have the same basically ending.
Storyline.
I like that. I like knowing the ending. I like having, So anyway, so that's kind of gotten me thinking about Christmas and the holiday season coming up. So
I've already seen a couple people that are decorating their homes for Christmas. Ooh. And I've always, we definitely don't decorate that early, but I will say the older that I'm getting, the faster time goes.
That's for sure.
And so I kind of get it a little bit. Like, I already feel like I want to start getting gifts for people, and we actually have started. Even my kids, Ivy picked up a gift for one of her friends the other day.
Yeah.
Addie picked up a gift for one of her friends, and but I like doing that too, because when things are on sale, you can kind of get
right when you start thinking about it earlier, but decorating, last year we made the decision. Usually we would decorate the weekend, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Last year we decided to start decorating the Saturday after Halloween, like November 1st. Did? Yeah, November. That's what happened to can't believe you can't remember what happened to our Christmas tree. And we have a funny video, and we'll show that sometime. In the next few weeks when we're getting closer to that holiday season to show you what happened to our Christmas tree.
Yeah, I want to hear what is on your Christmas wish list. So is there something that you've already thought about that you want for Christmas? Because now this is kind of the time of year that you see something that you want for yourself and you think, oh, I'm not going to buy that. I'm just going to put that on my Christmas wish list. And I just had that thought this morning about something that I wanted. So I'll tell you later.
All right. So every week we do a game on Mornings with Mike and Susie, and you have a chance to win a $5 gift card to Duncan. Okay. And we've been doing movie trivia. We keep in line with the same theme as our series. And so not only is this week's question within the 80s, but I got the question directly from the Back to the Future movie. Okay. Now, for you to even know about this question, you have to be a fan of Back to the Future.
Like a diehard fan.
I don't know about a diehard, but yeah, I don't know if you need to be diehard. But you definitely have to be a fan and know it's kind of, some of the history and the making of Back to the Future. Okay. And so what we do is the first person to text, and I'll write this in, text the answer to the number is 315. Susie, what's
506. 4506. So we have to put this on all of our things, though. So I'll do that.
So the first person to text us the answer to that number, we posted it in a couple of the feeds that we have. will win, and with the correct answer, will win a $5 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
We'll text you that. And so, all right, here it is. The question from Back to the Future.
Okay.
Which actor replaced... Okay, sorry. I'm going to restart.
Yeah, because this was confusing.
Yes, okay. I got to read it correctly so you understand it.
Okay.
Which actor was replaced with Michael J. Fox as the role of Marty in Back to the Future? So essentially, what actor did they start shooting the film with? Because it wasn't Michael J. Fox.
The original
wasn't
Back
the original.
To the Future?
Yes, the original Back to the Future.
Movie.
The very first movie, when they started filming Back to the Future.
It was not Michael J. Fox, who was cast in the role as Marty.
Correct.
So then what happened?
So what happened was they actually first went to Michael J. Fox, wanted him to be Marty, but he had to turn it down because he was in his sitcom. Family, I don't know if it's a sitcom, but the show, Family Ties.
That was a good show.
And so he had to say no. So they casted it to this other actor that we're waiting for you to, text his name in.
Okay.
And I don't know how far through they made it in the movie, but they just made the decision that it wasn't working. He just didn't have that it factor, if you will, and they just didn't feel like it was going to work. So they went back to Michael J. Fox and said, hey, listen, what do we need to do to get you in this role as Marty McFly? So what they ended up doing was Michael J. Fox was at one studio, I believe, shooting Family Ties all day. Then he would leave at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and maybe even later some days, go to the Universal Studios where they're shooting Back to the Future, and they would film all night. And then he would get a couple hours, and they'd film till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You'd get a couple hours of sleep, and they did that for however many months that he needed to film Back to the Future. So that's just a little Back to the Future.
And I
backstory.
just looked him up, and he resembles Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
He looks similar.
I mean, they actually have footage because I have one of the DVDs when I bought the whole series of like a documentary kind of about it, and they have footage of this other actor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, in some of the role and some of the so it's pretty neat to I'm sure you could even Google it and go and watch some of it, but he just didn't have it, so they made the decision to can him and went after Michael J. Fox. So what is his name? What is that actor's name?
So we have a winner
already.
Tina DeRozak guessed correctly, and his name is
Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz. And you're right. If you Google him, you'll see he looks actually a similar appearance to Michael J. Fox.
Talk about rejection, though. That would be quite the letdown to get the film. I'm sure he signed a contract. They must have had to pay him a decent amount of money. Yeah. But he wasn't.
Turns out they could afford it.
Yeah. Well, that's true. He was in some other movies though too. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go into our favorite things. He's very gently pointing out to me where
I didn't know if you have it. No, I didn't know if you have it or not.
I did.
Okay. Yes. I was kind of more of a question. Did you do that?
Yeah, this is the benefit of being a co-host with your spouse. You kind of and working with your spouse. Yesterday, we were in a meeting, and I was running the meeting, and you thought it was a good time to wrap the meeting up. And so, do you want to just tell the people what you did?
Which meeting?
Yes.
I don't remember doing that.
Yesterday.
Was it staff?
No, in the afternoon.
At the.
Oh. Do you want to share?
I don't remember what I did.
Everybody, what you were doing so you could hint to me that it was time to wrap up.
It was tapping your foot? Underneath the table.
Underneath the table. I had my legs crossed and my foot that was off the ground, he was kicking underneath my foot.
I'm all right, I'm done.
Wrap it up, babe.
It's true.
So those are some of the benefits of working with your spouse. There are some downsides too, but the benefits outweigh the downsides. Yeah. So we want to talk about what our favorite things are. So every week we do a little segment about what our favorite thing is. And this is just something that we enjoy, that we use maybe on a daily basis, weekly basis. So my favorite ink pens, and when you say the word pen, so apparently I don't pronounce it properly. So a pen, P-E-N. When I moved to Canada, I would ask you, where's the pen? Where's the pen? And you would be like, what pen? And I would mean an ink pen, and you would say, oh, the pen? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
You didn't know what I was saying.
It's, it's not den, right? D-E-N. It's pen, P-E-N. But you pronounce it kin, like P-I-N.
I think everybody in America does that. Right? I think if you live in America and you say pin instead of pen, please back me up. I think it's just
How would you say pig pen?
Pig pen. Pin.
Okay.
So my favorite pens, ink pens, are, the brand is Pilot, and it's a Pilot G2. And you like them too. You like the broader.
Yeah.
The broader point on it. I like the finer point. But I found in that same brand of pen, the package looks like this, but I took them out. They are colored G2 Pilot pens. Isn't this so awesome?
Hey, you need a colored pen. There you go.
You're not into this, but...
No. Let me know when you're done.
If you journal, or if you like to mark up your Bible and take notes, I used them last night on when I was making notes for my live talk for the Pink Seat, which I want to talk about that in a minute too. I like to use these because it helps me break up my notes. So if there are questions that I want to ask, like I put all the questions in orange and I put the Bible stuff in purple. And so I know you're not excited about these, but you also weren't excited about my hair wand last week either.
All right, that's it. Next week, I'm bringing the favorite thing, all right?
But these are awesome. So if you like these Pilot G2 pens, you'll have to look for the colored ones. And I'm just checking in. Teresa said she can't back me on this one. So she must be proper and pronounce pen as well. I guess I'm going to blame my parents. Here's the thing, guys. I grew up in small town, Delphi, Indiana, where I guess we don't pronounce pen properly. But I wouldn't change it for the world. So there you go.
So a local event that's happening is actually something that we've never done this, but we've been to the zoo, right? We have the Utica Zoo.
We have been to the
and
zoo.
I was scrolling through one of the news stations, and I came across this ad. I'm like, oh, we've never done this. This looks pretty cool. But
okay, what is it?
It's called the Night Prowl.
Okay.
At the Utica Zoo.
The Night Prowl.
Yeah. And they kind of, like, hey, do you ever wonder what the animals do at night? And I actually was thinking about it the last...
I've never wondered that, Utica Zoo.
I have.
You have?
Yes, because there's too many times I've gone to the zoo.
Tell us, honey.
Yes, because it's frustrating.
Okay.
I pay money to go to the zoo, and the animals are sleeping over in the corner.
Right.
And I'm like,
true.
I'm not paying to watch an animal sleep.
The animals should do what you want.
Yes.
Because you paid money to see
exactly.
them.
I mean, come on. This is the world we live in. I want to see you do something.
You're a consumer.
Right. And so I've been like, the thought crossed my mind the last time we went to the zoo, they must be up and do all of whatever they do at night. So I really want to go, and I'm kind of intrigued. Now it's only for the next 3, there's only 3 Fridays that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
October the 9th, which is this Friday, and it is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And then November the 6th and November the 14th. And if you have a membership, which we do, you still have to pay extra.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. But it's only $10 for adults that have a membership and $8 for kids.
Okay.
But if you don't have a membership, then it's $14 per adult. and $10
So
for a
what
child.
is it that you do besides see the animals? Are there extra things?
There is, and I was actually surprised but this is awesome. You can roast marshmallows over a fire.
That's fun.
And they have hot cocoa. So
Okay.
yeah, they have some other activities. And
So do you want to do that?
I think it would be fun.
You do? Okay. Let's do it.
Night Prowl,
Night Prowl.
Utica Zoo this Friday. So yeah.
You know, last time we went to the zoo, the very first animal we went to see were the
Lions.
because they're your favorite.
Yes.
And you want to tell them?
No, go ahead.
What was so cool? So as we were walking close to the lion exhibit, we couldn't see them yet, but you could hear what I only assumed was a recording that they had to increase the ambiance and the experience of lions roaring.
Yeah.
But we got closer and realized it was not a recording. The lions were just really vocal.
And active. It's the first time. And we've been to this zoo, the Utica Zoo, several times. And the lions are usually sleeping underneath a tree.
Yeah.
But we were so far away and heard it. That's why we thought it has to be a recording. Just, speakers around and got up and they're up there. And the one lion was just pacing back and forth, and it was really cool.
So what is your favorite animal exhibit at the zoo? What do you look forward most to seeing? I think I like the monkeys the most, just because they are interesting.
Yes.
And I just like to see them playing and swinging around with their long arms.
Yeah. We'll have to tell a quick story because it has to do with animals. The first time we went to the Shed Aquarium when we lived in the suburbs of Chicago. So we were about 45 minutes into the city, and so the Shed Aquarium is right there in the city, right all along the banks of Lake Michigan. And so the first time we go, that we knew that they had an octopus, right? And well, our oldest daughter, she was probably how old at the time? 6, 7?
Probably,
6 or 7 years old, and we said, "Oh yeah, it has an octopus," and she is just overjoyed.
So
I mean, she was super excited
to see a real
octopus. So we go in there. And first of all, the aquarium tank that this octopus was in was this wide, maybe, with this tall, and maybe 3 or 4 feet deep. But it
Which
wasn't
was fine. And the Shed Aquarium is incredible. If you ever get the chance to go, it really is incredible. But it definitely was not their most impressive display. And the octopus was curled up in a little ball in the far back corner, and it was probably about this big, you think? Something this big. But which we didn't think anything of it. We were like, oh look, there's the octopus. He's in the corner.
But we later found out that our daughter was extremely disappointed and realized her expectation of what she was going to see was something similar to Ursula in the Disney movie, The Little Mermaid. So when you're expecting an octopus the size of a humpback whale, and you go there and the aquarium is just small and the octopus is this, she was very, very disappointed.
She cried in the middle of Shed Aquarium.
Oh yeah, she cried.
And here we are so excited to take her. You spend all this money, you take the day off, do all this, and she's standing in the middle of Shed Aquarium just sobbing because the octopus did not fulfill her dreams. Did not meet her expectations. There's a life lesson in there somewhere, I'm sure of it. Teresa says she also loves the monkeys, and so does Tina. So I think maybe that's the fan favorite, the monkeys.
There you go.
They're the most entertaining.
So why don't you tell everybody what you're doing with the ladies this month?
So over at my Facebook group, The Pink Seat, we are doing, for the month of October, an online Bible reading challenge. And I would love for all of you that are watching that are women only, to sign up to be a part of it. It's super easy. We're basically just committing to read a short passage of scripture, but we are committing to read 5 days a week for the entire month of October. So we're practicing routine. We're getting that, active consumption of the Word of God in our life and part of our everyday routine. So I'm going to post the link if you haven't signed up, that you can sign up today. Don't wait, because if you're like me, you're going to be like, oh, well, I'll go back and sign up for that later. And then you're going to get distracted and you're going to forget. And then you're going to not be able to find the sign up. So sign up right now.
How do they do that? How do they sign up?
I just put the link in the comments. Okay. Or if you prefer, you can go on Facebook, just search the Pink Seat and you'll find more information about it right there.
And join the Pink Seat while you're at it.
Yeah, we just hit over 300 members, so awesome. I'm really excited about that. And we are just growing as a group of women that are not just surviving, but we are thriving as moms and wives and sisters and friends, and daughters of God. And you go live, I don't want to say are you doing it every Monday? What are you doing? I think so. I'm still trying to figure out what format works the best, because I want to be flexible and find out what people are enjoying, what they're getting the most out of. But Monday nights at 7:30, you'll find something new there.
Very cool. So we have a lot of stuff going on with our MVC network. And a network is it's just made up of a number of custom shows that we've created, because we wanted to create, and we kind of launched this in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of the shutdown, quarantine, and we wanted people are just spending so much more extra time in front of their devices watching TVs, and so we wanted to give you some good godly Christian content for you to consume, because garbage in, garbage out, and we wanted to help get some good truth and biblical content inside of you. And so we are continuing with the network with season 2, and last night I do a leadership show that airs on Mondays. Susie does the Pink Seat. Brandy does a parenting show called Consider It All Joy. We have our youth has Youth Factor on Tuesday nights, and so there's many more shows that happen throughout the week, and so there's just you can go back onto our YouTube page or our Facebook page and and watch all of that. It's all there for you. So it's just a way for and what we're really trying to do as well is create community around these kind of these shows and these demographics or even interest groups. And because right now we haven't restarted our in-person community groups, and we're still praying through and seeing when and how is the best way to safely move forward with that. But we're trying to create community around these shows. So when you watch live, now you can go watch them at any time, but when you watch live, the host of that show will be on there asking questions, trying to interact, and we're doing that because we want you to feel connected to us, to our church, and with each other. And so this is a great way that we are able to build community with you. Right, with you.
That's why we're here, believe it or not to just hear ourselves talk, because we really just have a desire to get to know each of you better and to give you a place that you can continue to grow in your walk with God, and that we can laugh and have fun along the way too.
Yeah. So this weekend we are going to be closing out our series at the movies with the 90s. The 90s. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can come here in person on Thursday night, 7 p.m. We have kids church. Our youth group meets on Thursday night. So if you have teenagers, bring them out. They're having a blast. They're doing a lot of cool, fun stuff.
And I think we should share our concession
we are.
For the weekend. Okay.
Yes. So go ahead.
So we have an ice cream truck coming on Thursday night and Sunday.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun. You can pick your ice cream. They're going to make sure they stop at the youth barn. So everybody gets an ice cream on their way out.
Come on out for some ice cream and the Word of God.
That's right.
So we'll be looking for you, like I said, in person Thursday at 7 or Sunday at 10 a.m. Or join us online Sunday at 10 a.m. We'll be looking for you. Bring a friend, share the feed, tag someone, have a watch party, whatever you need to do to connect with each other and connect with God. But we're looking for you this weekend. Have a great day.